I want to go to Pete Williams, who was in that room. He's on the 7th floor of the Justice Department this morning. Pete, he didn't go outside the report. He also has said he doesn't want to testify before Congress. It may be that Congress itself has a say in that. How do you expect this to play out?
Well, this was his valedictory speech, I think. You know, really it was a formal end to the investigation. He decided he didn't want to make a public statement. Most of it, you're right, was a summary of this written report. What he did say is nobody has told me whether or not I can or should testify before Congress. So that clearly is up to him. And he said if he does testify, though, don't get your hopes up. He's not going to go beyond what's in the four corners of his report. And he also said, I think it's interesting, you know, the special counsel's office basically, as of today, ceases to exist. It largely ceased to exist several weeks ago when the report itself was turned in, but he was still doing some mopping up work. But now any discussion between Congress and the Justice Department about whether and if the underlying materials that his people gathered will be available, he's going to be out of that entirely. He's going to go back to being a private citizen. So he's not going to be involved in that. I didn't hear him to say he's not going to testify. What I heard him to say is it's his decision alone, and if he is, it's not going to be very spectacular.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here, and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.